Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday and normal life of an Aspie. This is the drug-free series that I'm hoping to address to you all, basically for teens as well as populations, for people alike that you feel that needs to be addressed with these, and a resource learning aid tool that hopefully will be of benefit to others around you. So hopefully that we can create an awareness and obviously know that they're not alone regardless of what they've decided to do in their life, because we obviously need to create a support network based on positive vibes and everything else, so that they know that they're not going to be judged or misunderstood or whatnot. Because obviously, as I said before so many times before, that teens find it a struggle in their everyday life of fitting in and whatever else the reasons to why they're doing all this. So in all further ado, this is part 6, pretty much. What I'm calling this is crossing the line, knowing the difference, but what's the difference between using and addiction. Okay, there are a lot of good reasons to living a drug-free and alcohol-free life. The risk of becoming chemically dependent, however, or addicted, as I said, is just one of the reasons. The progression begins by drinking to eventually attempting suicide. Makes it clear that where the risks will lead and can lead to us. Sure, you know that, yes, as a minor, alcohol and drug, as I said, drug alcohol use is illegal. But you don't tend to drink and drive, nor use and drive, nor be with anyone else who is driving or is under that influence while doing so. You are smart enough to know the rights and wrongs, and also obviously the side effects to what this is doing, as well as the consequences. Basically, when teens do tend to experiment with the alcohol, drugs, and many simply say, it's not for me, and never use again. And you know that some will use from time to time, however, without being chemically dependent, as I said, addicted. Maybe you or your friends use every now and then. You have a sip of beer, take just a little hit, you know that while you've earned the right to say, I used, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to become chemically dependent. So you also know that while using chemically dependency, you also know that not everyone users will become dependent. The question is, if you try it, how would you know whether or not you will or not become chemically dependent in the first place, or an alcoholic, an addict, or even an addict? And if you use, how will you know if when you cross the line? So many questions need to be answered. Let's take another look or study more on this topic at hand. The difference between using and chemical dependency is this: free will, making the right choices. But it's not as simple as that for some. It may tell me right now, yes, I'll agree, it may not be easy for this free will, making the right choice for yourself. Because the mind and body of someone who has become chemically dependent demands yet another hit or another dose, regardless of the consequences. Even in spite of wanting to stop, the demand of the craving is still there. However, the chemically dependent person will do whatever it takes to get some more of that alcohol or drug he or she is addicted craving for. There is another way to understand the difference between this, however, of an addict or someone who uses but is not an addict. One way is that one may embarrass himself at social gatherings, get on a low grade in school, even in trouble with his parents or teachers, and see there is a consequence for having used. These experiences are enough for this person to know that alcohol and drugs impair him, and that's not good, and it will take for him to stop using altogether. Not so for the person who is well on the way to becoming chemically dependent, however, who doesn't process these or similar experiences in the same manner. Chemically dependent person, however, will use in spite of the problems causing, including harming relationships with people she loves, craves for, or cares for deeply. People tend to skip school, steal, lie, cheat, etc., doing whatever it takes to use. Why? Because obviously the brain and the body is controlled, or are being controlled, by the chemicals and is screaming out for more. This person now is an addict, has to use regardless of how much chaos and destruction they're bringing up on themselves and others around them. They will even use against their own desire to not use. What's that addict? Many times before, as I said, this word addict has been interchanged so many times. like junkies or a disfavored street person. An addict is any person who has become physically or emotionally chemically dependent. What does it mean to be an addict? The word addiction can bring to mind false impressions. Often it brings up spookier times or images of dark street corners and seedy neighbourhoods, barren-looking jails, cells, horrific crimes, the mention of dirty needles and senseless violence. But addiction doesn't always include the things that I'm addressing to you all. Although it can lead to all of them, addiction can exit in nice homes, in neighbourhoods, and in the nice people around us who live there. An addict is any person who has become dependent, hooked on chemicals. So what is exactly an addiction? Addiction means someone who's dependent on drugs or alcohol. It is linked into the words obsession, compulsion, and tolerance, because once the chemical begins to wear off, the mind and body demands for more, or else a painful process of withdrawal sets in. The mind and body wants gratification. The chemical, and they want it right now. The price may be serious and painful consequences, but the chemically dependent person is willing to pay it in order to get that instant satisfaction. The pain and shame that users feel at being so out of control can make him or her feel like a terrible person. So this person will use again in order to escape from the problems in the reality as well as the emotions as a means of coping. Of course, this only makes the matter worse, as well as other problems that will occur later on. Eventually, the chemically dependent person, however, ends up using to escape the pain that was created by using or drinking. If this sounds insane, it is, and anyone who has escaped from it, his or her addiction of drugs, will tell you this otherwise themselves of their story of addiction. Well, that basically ends part 6 basically of the series of my drug-free of crossing the line, knowing the difference between addiction and whatever I said in the beginning, which I'm losing track here. Please give me the likes and the thumbs up basically for support, and also private message me on Facebook if you need to, if you want to share some messages. Also share the videos around with family and friends basically, as well as subscribing to my channel. Feel free to comment below as I'm progressing on these series basically to send messages of hope and all that and understanding. So in all further ado, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon.